Portugal. So we're kind of all over the map here in the Shadowverse Open for Europe. But just interesting to note, and we'll see. Is it Denmark or is it France that moves on? Mensou carries the French hope here, and Lana'thel going to represent Denmark. So, kick it off, guys. We do see Forest, and it is Beauty and the Beast. Give me your predictions. Who's moving on? Who is getting eliminated?
All right, well, just based on this hand, or these hands, Shadow's looking pretty good right now for taking this. I want to also point out that Lana'thel is only A ranked, and something that we often tell people is that your rank isn't relevant to how good you are in a tournament. Obviously, he's good enough because he's here and he's playing. So, like, shout outs to him for coming out despite, you know, all the masters and grandmasters that are playing in the event. So just kind of like inspirational to those who may not necessarily be there.
Tournaments level the playing field. They take away all the barriers to entry. You just get in there, you play your best. It doesn't matter, that kind of thing. So getting to the game here. So we are seeing actually just a straight neutral aggro Forest plan. I haven't seen these decks be played very much, so I'm unsure about their matchup versus Forest, or I mean versus Shadow rather. But again, being on the draw when you're playing an on the play aggressive deck such as Alice might be a disadvantage. What do you think, Aya?
Well, what I think is, judging from that hand over there, if Mensou doesn't at least clear something off this board, he's going to be in a lot of trouble, which he is opted to do.
Yeah. Might even go with a full clear here. Doubtful, but
I would definitely full clear here. Just out of fear of the, and that's what he's doing. Okay.
Yep.
Just out of fear of the Alice. I would never want to face down, you know, two things or even one thing on board after my opponent plays an Alice.
Right. And that's a very heads-up play from Mensou. Obviously, we have open deck lists for NGE, so he knew that the Alice might be coming. On a ladder, you might not make that same play because you don't know. Seeing a Goblin Mage isn't that telling.
Especially not in a Forest list where it can get roaches.
Right. Exactly. But in this deck, no roaches. We're just seeing a very aggressive game plan, just ending with Beauty and the Beast. So much like we've seen old Blood decks, except for the endgame isn't Spawn of the Abyss, it's Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
And Mensou is...
Oh, I was just going to say that, you know, he's going to... I would definitely have played the Serb like he is doing. He definitely has to take out this Alice. Can't leave 5 damage on board, you know, unchecked or anything. And this is easy, just do 1 damage. All damage matters, especially in this matchup. So.
And what we're going to see Mensou do here is we're going to see him kind of shift into the control player's role. So because his minions or his followers are not very big, he's going to basically just be playing catch-up this whole game, especially against cards like Feria, which are going to pump the whole board and that kind of stuff. So realistically, we're just going to see Mensou settle in. We're going to see if he draws the right cards to deal with the board. If not, he might get pushed under the rug to these Actress Ferias. But obviously, the Lurking Corpse top deck will help with that. One of those cards that he needs to draw. One of those cards he definitely needed to draw here.
Yeah, he was like, oh, man, give me something, RNGesus. And he gave it to him.
RNGesus, he prayed to the right gods, got himself a Lurking Corpse, and now he can come right back into this game.
Yep. And now he can play the Demon Eater on the Lurking Corpse to kill the Goblin Mage. But
and as you see, not being super aggressive.
Right, and we are gonna see that Beauty and the Beast come down next turn, so, and it's gonna get all of its effects.
Yeah, we're gonna see. Oh my God, he's doing area.
Oh man,
my dreams. Lana'thel, you're my new favorite.
I'm about to be really sad.
This is about to be 100% lethal right here, and I couldn't be happier.
I'm a little sad because I just cursed Forest.
So for those of you who don't know me very well, I've been claiming that Ariat plus anything is like best combo in Shadowverse for forever. And now with Beauty and the Beast before the set came out, if we get to see this win a tournament, I'm going to rub this in Aya's face so hard. This is going to be so amazing. I can't wait.
It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not.
All right, so he does have an option here. He can run the Thane in and get a ward up, so he's not just straight dead here, which is very unfortunate. I would like him to be straight dead here, but that's not the case.
Yeah, man. No, don't show any favoritism.
I'm sorry, Mensou, but Beauty and the Beast Ariat combos, man, they got me going.
Yeah. I can't blame you, though. Can't blame you.
Lana'thel doesn't have any evolution points left to push over the ward here, so he might just have to run right into it. Although, no. Bane does, okay, remind me, does Bane kill Beauty and the Beast?
No.
Okay.
Bane does not kill Beauty and the Beast.
So he can Ariat to heal and then run into the Bane if he so chooses.
Yes, he could do that.
Just go straight through it. I like this plan even better.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, this is a very interesting situation here, right? Yeah, I was just about to say that. Like he's in a very and that's a 3/3 Unica. But yeah, the situation that he was in was that if he didn't, his opponent, and he would assume that his opponent may have Ektar, and that would have been lethal. You know?
Right. You always have to count for Ektar.
Yep.
Because if Ektar can lethal you, Shadow probably has it. If they don't, then you're lucky, essentially. Which he is kind of lucky here that there is Ektar, but the second Thane, pretty big deal here.
Oh my goodness, the damage he's taking off of these whites.
That's already lethal.
Yeah, he's just dead, right? Because
he's not dead this turn. Or yeah,
no,
he is dead this turn. Yeah, he is dead this turn.
Yeah, like look at that, man. Oh,
so many whites.
What a
I was gonna say, even if there wasn't lethal there, killing the ward would have been lethal anyway. So not really any way around it.
Mensou with the white kill. That game just went ramped up in craziness right when it hit 6 play points. That game just went insane. Now, we were talking a little bit about Forestcraft and its dribble in the matchup. Definitely, when we say Shadowcraft doesn't have a lot of really beefy followers, that actually is a big weakness against a card like Beauty and the Beast, right? Because you can only trade followers in to get rid of it. And when you're in Shadowcraft and all you have are these chumpy units, that can actually cause a lot of problems. But I think Mensou kind of got the options he needed and played around it very well. How do you think Mensou is going to match up against this deck with his Bloodcraft variant here?
Well, I think
so
if he's playing... Oh, okay, I'll go. I think if he's playing, you know, we know he's Forest List. The thing is, considering he's going second, that could prove to be a problem. But the thing is, Mensou doesn't necessarily have a great hand for going first. So, like, that does help a little bit.
Yeah, getting a 2-drop massively helps, especially after missing the 1-drop.
Yep. But he does have the Angel of the Word in his hand, so he can use that to shoot the Unica, trade the bat, and do 1 damage.
Now, as far as the draws are concerned, I think Lana'thel actually has a pretty good draw here. He's got a lot of defensive options. He's got Lyriel for the evolution turn. He's got Elf Twins Assault to clear off a big board. He's got the Hector to maintain mid-game. And with Mensou not coming out with a blazing start, he might have the options to come back this game.
Yeah, his hand's looking pretty stacked over there, and by that I mean Lana'thel. He has plenty of neutrals in hand to take advantage of his Flower Princess and his Hector. Like, yeah, this is... And he draws a Beauty and the Beast, so if a game gets to that point, which it's going to, just based on these draws, Mensou could be in a lot of trouble.
Yep. And I'd like to see an Elf Twins Assault before the Lyriel, but after the Lyriel, fine as well. Oh, okay.
Well,
he's
the
just doing it the way
does
he
guarantee
wants to.
kill these, so... That's a clear board. Like, and he still has cards to spare.
Tons of cards to spare. An active Hector, an active Beauty and the Beast. Actually, no, never mind. The Flower Princess is kind of halting that, but one more neutral drawn, then that plan changes. But especially if the board doesn't get cleared here, if Mensou just pushes face here, this Actress Faria or Alice is just going to put together a board that might look pretty fearsome here.
So he's heavily considering his options here. He's got to consider whether or not he's going to use his Sabrewer to take out the Goblin Mage. Oh, he's opting not to do that. Is he just going to, you know, value trade push for damage?
I think value trade and then Razor Claw the Lyrial is what his plan is with this.
That's a very fine play. Yeah, that works out. He clears board. He drew another neutral, so Hector is super good right now.
Yeah, perfect.
Best draw. Like, and he doesn't want any bats in play. He's like, no bats.
He's like, nope.
Bro.
no bats for you, bats.
Bro. Yep.
Oh, great top deck.
Unfortunately,
now,
he's really far behind because Beauty and the Beast is going to take this game.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast is just going to show up and say, hey, how you doing?
Yep, do
something about me. Yep. I'm actually very surprised to see the neutral deck doing this well against Blood being on the draw. I think just having the ETA and the Lyrial that one turn is huge.
Well, there also was the fact that he missed his one drop, which could have made all the difference. You know, he didn't necessarily have the most aggressive start, Mensou, I mean.
That's true.
Unfortunately, this isn't going to work.
No. Mensou might not know this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't know. Okay, so for those who don't know, Beauty and the Beast's effect, which the whole protection effect of protection from spells and damage, or rather effects, doesn't. So you can't use Bane on it essentially because of that effect.
So, just as kind of a clarification, Beauty and Beast does not block damage, but it blocks effects and removal of any sort. So
Correct.
Bane doesn't work, but if you had just enough on your swing from your follower, that would actually take it out. And I believe does spell damage also does not work on it. Correct. So if they were to use something like Charisma Sorcery, which is a very distinct difference because there are other cards out there, namely like Albert, that will get killed by Bane on its enhance effect. So that's a slight difference. But Forestcraft took a win, and now it's up to Lana'thel's Swordcraft, which maybe is probably I think he probably has the most unique set of decks in this qualifier here. Mensou has to go up for a second time with his aggro Bloodcraft list. Now we saw Shadow Shadet running his own Swordcraft. What are the differences that we can highlight here? Do you think Lana'thel has a chance, especially given the state of what we've seen from Mensou so far?
Absolutely. So this Sword deck looks a little bit closer to what we're used to seeing with Sword. Not so much the ambush into the super aggro, but more just like the neutral early game with Alwitas and Alberts and things like that to push. But as we've stated before, it's still going to be affected by who's on the play, and Mensou kind of has an edge because he is. But, like last game, not a one-drop, and not really a great curve into very small minions to be played. What do you think, Aya?
Oh, well, he did draw the Summon Bloodkin, and he does have Vampiric Fortress in hand, so that could actually kind of help put up some pressure. Right here, if I were him, I would play the Urias. I wouldn't have played that Vampiric Fortress there.
All right, interesting. So,
yeah, he's just voluntarily giving up tempo.
Yeah. I think the plan here is he's going to play the board control game. So Killer Devil into creating another bat. If the board gets traded on, he gets to summon Bloodkin and create another bat. So basically, he's just trying to get value out of this and maybe even set up a really big Night Horde.
Well, we do see the Lyrial in Lana'thel's hand, so that is going to be a major key in the next turn because he's going to be on evolution points. So, and there's a Big Knuckle Bodyguard. Because he's not going to play that. He probably will play the Blood Wolf into the Summon Bloodkin.
Yeah, he might play
Urias
he's going to
play the Urias.
get it on the board. Yeah.
Well, actually, Urias here is not a bad decision because this does go into your opponent's Evo turn, and if they have Floral Fencer, they're taking 3 damage to the dome.
Yep. So didn't want to do that. Gonna play Lyriel instead.
Okay.
And this is kind of what we were talking about in the last matchup. So whereas we saw that Shadow Shadette did not have comeback mechanics in his sword deck, we see Lyriel, we see Floral Fencer, we see Geno, we see Shield, we see all of these ways to either push on the play or to be defensive if you're going second. So much different type of a sword deck here.
Now, there is a little bit of a consideration for Evo in the bat and going face. I guess it would kind of depend on whether or not he felt as if he would feel confident in his draws from this point forward. But right now, this Floral Fencer is going to do a good bit of work taking back some of this board.
Yep. And I think Mensou is really just in the mindset right now, I just need to push. I can't afford to go board. Maybe with Night Horde. Night Horde I can go board, clear this Floral Fencer up, but everything else has to go face. I don't have a lot of resources left. This sword deck is probably going to start taking over board control, so I just need to push and hope he doesn't have the resources to stop me. Right.
So he's opting to play the Big Knuckle Bodyguard. This allows him to also play the Blood Wolf. This just, as Exo said, I just really think that the only real thing that he can do here, he can clear a little bit off the board. He might even trade one of the bats just to get the other 1/1 off so he doesn't trade into the Blood Wolf. But yeah, you just push face. Oh, he's okay. He is trading the bat.
I'm not a huge fan of this play, being on Mensou's side of it. Like, he basically got rid of 3 damage he could have dealt face that turn. And that 3 damage is going to be very important with the amount of cards that he has left in his hand. Like, there's not really any other ways to push damage, and because he's playing an aggro deck, it's going to be in that situation where, like, what can you really draw to finish the opponent off? And he's kind of putting himself into that spot.
Well, he did just draw a dance, but Sabrura is much better here. Take that out. He can't trade into the Sabrura without something dying. And, I mean, I think you just go face.
Yeah, still playing defensive. Again, I think all of these things should be going face. I think what we're going to see here is
that was a great draw.
Yeah.
That Blitz Lancer, great draw. Oh, he's not even going to play the Blitz Lancer. Okay. Oh, he is.
Will.
He's just going to...
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, that was an excellent
better use
draw.
out of it.
Excellent.
So now what I think we're going to see is we're going to see Mensou just play out the rest of the cards that he has access to. The Night Horde's actually really good here with the Summon Bloodkin. Now there is an actual board here, but we're really just going to see Mensou playing out his hand and hoping to win, whereas we're going to see Lana'thel start taking over the board turn after turn. So this is very top deck dependent for Mensou, and 10 life is a lot.
Yeah, right now Mensou is not in a great position. He can use the dance to take that out. He can trade into the 3/1 and then go face with the other 2, or he's just gonna go face with everything. That's fine too. I don't know. I think I would have taken out the 3/1 though.
So, like, as we mentioned before, had he already dealt, like, say, Sabrura to the face and Evolution to the face, and basically have gone all face, he would have won the game already. But now he's in the position where he has to top deck to win.
Yep. Well, he could draw not that. Not what you want to be seeing right now.
Getting closer. And Lana'thel still has to respect the bats, still has to clear all the bats off, because again, Mensou could top deck something like a Razory Claw or something just to finish out the game, Imp Lancer or whatever. So we're going to see one more turn of board trading, and then we're going to see Lana'thel just take over and see if he can just finish the game out.
Well, do you think that he should even bother trading with the board? He can't die right now. Of course, Albert would indeed be lethal if Lana'thel draws it. So
you can't. That 1 damage is so important.
Yeah. It's like you just have to chance it.
Yep. I think he should have chanced it from the beginning, but now especially. Like, he's literally out of resources. If he chooses to trade here, it's going to be even harder. I think he's really just thinking, like, what can I draw in succession to win this game? realistically, there's not really anything that does 1 in the deck except for Angel of the Word, but that is a consideration. Like, say he draws Angel of the Word into Razor Claw, that being at 4 is a huge difference to being at 5 in that situation. I think he's just really going over what he has left in his deck, what he can draw, and if that 1 damage matters. I would say yes, but he might come to a different conclusion.
Well, I think this matchup may have played out just a smidgen differently had he drawn the Caraboss, if that is indeed in his deck. He would still have card. Oh my goodness, no.
That's
Oh,
pretty much lights out unless there's double burn.
Game's over.
Off here, yeah.
Nah, this game's over. It's a wrap. That Council of Card Knights, not what you want to see.
Wow. Not playing Council here is very greedy.
Yeah, but I mean, he must be. Lana'thel must just feel like, well, I can't lose this game, you know. And he is trading, so he is respecting the possibility of some kind of top deck damage or whatnot.
See, this is the situation I was talking about. He thought he had lethal. He was setting up lethal, but a card like Sabrewer changes that. Now Sabrewer goes face, sets him out of lethal, and then potentially sets up a game-winning draw.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't go face. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's over.
Now it's definitely over. Again, Mensou just not doing what his deck's supposed to do.
Just slam the door on this one. It's done. You know, it's done. I mean, Council of Card Knights here just shuts the game off.
Honestly, even the Geno play would shut the game off. Like, the 5 damage is kind of insurmountable now that you can just set up lethal turn after turn. Interesting. So chooses not to set up lethal.
He may not have even seen that he had a potential lethal there, but yeah, this game's over. Pack it in.
Just plays both.
You're not winning up.
I think Mensou definitely had the power to win this game, and he just kind of threw it away starting when he started trading. That's it.
Right.
So Mensou will fall 2-1 to Lana'thel, and my memory is starting to get a little foggy, but I think that's the only series we've seen so far that had a 2-1 scoreline. Everything else was